What's good, y'all? It's your boy Sean Peter Blunt God. Hey, and we are back with another Berserk read through. Today we will be reading chapter 19 chronologically. The Berserk chapters are weird and confusing, especially reading it through the app. But the name of this chapter is Nasa Feratu Zod Chapter 2, just to give you guys an idea of where I'm going to be at. But before we get into this, make sure you guys hit that like button. Also, subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. Leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the read through, about the chapter, about Berserk in general. Just please don't spoil me on anything. Also, follow me on Twitch so you can catch me live and you can engage with me in real time. Follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Enjoy my community with the Discord. All of these will be in the description box for you guys below. But yeah, we on to the next chapter, y'all. We on to the next chapter, bro. Things is getting spicy. It's getting spicy. So, last chapter, we heard about this legendary Zod character, and we met him at the end of the chapter. He was this big, brutish man. Looked like he's about to give Guts some work. So, this chapter, we continue. We continue with this fight between Guts and Zod. See how Guts comes out of this somehow, right? Without any further ado, let's get into the chapter. Bro, I am psyched to see what Zod can really do. See how beastly this man beast looking guy is. He look like he should be an apostle, but he kind of look like a werewolf though. I'm looking at this cover page and he looks like a werewolf a little bit. Got the ears like kind of like when werewolves transform. So not fully wolf, just like the mid transformation of a werewolf. Still look like a beast though. And the page says Nasaferatu Zod Chapter 2. So Zod is walking towards Guts. This is a double page spread, by the way. It's like I can't see his right foot. I don't know if he's like missing the right foot or if it's like hidden in what looks to be like fog on the ground. I'm not too sure. But it looked like he's missing his right foot. And he still like has one of the soldiers in his hand. Like he's palming it, like clutching it, fingers in the eyes and everything. And Guts is holding his ground. And Guts is thinking, what the hell is this? So we get like a close up of Zod's face. Like he looked like a troll or a werewolf or something. And he said, and Zod says, you parried that strike well, boy. It's kind of what I picture how Zod would sound if he's talking. But he does talk though. Like he can communicate. He ain't like no just straight feral creature. The man has intelligence. And Guts is, standing his ground and he's thinking, what's this? This overpowering sense that got me tied up. And then we see Zod with both hands on his sword this time. Look like he's going in for a strike. Zod goes like swings down with a vertical strike, and Guts is going in for a block, and Guts manages to block the strike with like the hilt or the I think that's what they call it, the hilt or the helm. I don't remember. The hilt of the sword. I'm gonna just call it the hilt of the sword. Y'all correct me in the comments. I'm You know, I'm no swordsmith or sword expert, but I think it's the hilt or something of the sword. He blocks it, and it pushes like his right leg, I think, is forced to go down. Like he's forced to take a knee. So this time Zod goes in for a horizontal strike, and Guts manages to evade it, and he slices right through the column. I'm trying to look. Is this like the sword that Guts eventually gets? Nah. It looks too. It looks like asymmetrical. Guts' sword that we see him have later is more symmetrical, right? It's like symmetrical on both sides. This one has like a curve to it. This one that Zod has, it has kind of a curve on coming from one side. And Guts looks back and say, "What?" And we see Zod look like he's screaming, and you see them fangs, boy. This man ain't no joke right here. This man is a monster. So we get a full page spread, and Zod is just swinging, and Guts manages to block his strike. Like he's blocking each of these strikes. So Guts is keeping with him. As powerful as Zod is, Guts is keeping with him. He's keeping up. Yeah. Guts like, bro, you ain't gonna kill me so easily. So we see Zod going in with a swing that looks like he kind of sweeps up some of the concrete, and Guts is forced to block this strike with the assistance of his forearm. Like he's, you know, he has his forearm behind the blade to give it a little more stability in this block. And in blocking, he is sent to another pillar, and we see him coughing up blood. He says, "Gah!" But he's still like, you know, he's still on his feet though. He's still on his feet. Guts is still on his feet. Guts is trying to stay on his feet, and we just see Zod just towering over Guts. Like the beast of a man Zod is. Bruh, it's like Zod is just such a... If you had the name Zod, bro, you gotta be just a beast. You know, it's kind of like Zod from Superman, right? Like he's a Kryptonian like Superman, except he's just bad. So just think of a bad Superman that doesn't hold back. That's General Zod from Superman, and the man is a problem, right? And then we see this Zod from Berserk, problem, right? Problem. So Zod looks and says, "Superb." And Guts is thinking to himself, he's a monster. Bruh, this dude Zod. Man, Zod, how he looking, bro. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know how Guts comes out of this unless Griffith and the squad comes in to help Guts. But I don't know how Guts gets out of this. Maybe Zod has put some respect on Guts' name, and it's kind of like he just respects him, and kind of like Hisoka with Gon. Like he'd be like, you know what, I don't want to kill you right away, so I'm gonna save you for later, right? Like he just lets him live just out of just to allow him to get stronger, right? Like that could be the case, you know. Or maybe somehow Guts comes out of this. I don't know. Maybe Zod gets killed. But I don't know how Guts is. This man seems a little too much for Guts at this point. You know, but we seen Guts fight a lot of strong individual and still come out with the W. So trust in Guts, man. Trust in Guts. Zod says, "Not one man in 50 years has been able to stop my sword this long." we get a nice shot of the corridor they're fighting in. See some dead bodies and see Guts and Zod facing off with like a pillar in between them. Guts is thinking, it's taking all I've got to do it. He's the strongest. Or no, I'm missing something. He says, it's taking all I've got to do it. Damn, I can't even get a swing in. He's the strongest. He's stronger than anyone I've ever crossed swords with. I was speechless at how good Griffith was, but this guy. Bruh, like Guts never faced an apostle before up to this point. I don't believe. We've never seen it. He faced some big dudes, big human guys though. This, you know, from the beginning of this flashback though, or this arc, Guts hasn't fought an apostle yet. I don't even think he is aware of what an apostle is just yet. But again, this is before Guts got his cursed scar. So, once he got that cursed scar, it was almost like he was attracting apostles, or he was able to detect where they're at because the closer you get to one, more it hurts. Guts is thinking his power is beyond human, and we just get this big picture of Zod, just this hulk of a man. God dang. And Guts is standing his ground and he's looking and he's just sweating. You can just see the sweat just dripping down his face. And he's thinking to himself, what do I do? Guts is thinking, I can't stay toe to toe with him. Zod has his sword. He's ready for another attack. And Guts is still thinking, I only parried him thanks to his broadsword. A normal sword would have been busted with one hit. Or, I only parried him thanks to this broadsword. A normal sword would have been busted with one hit. And then he thinks, so the swords alone are evenly matched. And then we see Zod has like a shocked look on his face. And we see Guts, I guess change his stance and how he holds his sword. So we see Guts in more of an attack stance. And I guess Zod is kind of shocked that he's like, oh, he's about to attack now. Okay. And I like how we kind of get a view of I guess the carrier that Guts carries a sword in. Now I never really seen how Guts carries his sword. I always just thought he kind of hooks it to something, even though that's more of his bigger sword. But this sword though, we actually see it's kind of like a sheath, like a sheath, right? Like he it's like he puts it in this a holder, and then it goes all. It's like this little lining that goes all the way down to where it holds the end of the sword. Like a two-part sheath that's connected to like a long tether or whatever. Zod says, huh. So being unable to keep blocking my sword, you're going to gamble everything on one strike. We get a double page spread and we see Zod swinging his sword at Guts. But before that, Zod says, I'll bet you're counting on blade length to make a difference. But will it? Your brain will still be on the floor before your sword can touch me. And Guts says, one chance. And we see Zod bringing his sword up. And he says, interesting. I accept. And Guts says, just one chance. And we see Zod striking down with a vertical slash. And Guts, he's still hardly move. He's still hardly move, so he's waiting. I guess maybe he's going to dodge and then attack. Like dodge when Zod gets closer. Bro, this is this is getting good. Okay, so Guts blocks, but it kind of looked like he learned a little bit from Griffith because he's kind of doing what Griffith did, where he's going to block but still let the momentum slide off of his blade and then maybe go for an attack. So it looked like he's kind of using Griffith's strategy. So he blocks and like kind of like vertical. It's like a diagonal type block to let the momentum of the blade slide down. And Zod is a little shocked, like he notices what Griffith is trying to do. But it looked like Guts is actually, is he cutting through the sword or is he cutting through Zod? It's hard to tell what he's cutting through. It kind of looked like the sword, possibly. But we see, yeah, it's kind of hard to tell. Okay, so Guts manages to cut Zod's sword in half. Okay, so he did cut through the sword. I wasn't sure if he was cutting through Zod or if he was cutting through the sword, but we see Zod's blade behind him. And it looked like Guts might have even cut through Zod, honestly. It looked like he might have actually cut through Zod. And then Zod says, "Boy." And we see Guts like breathing. It looked like we see blood squirting from Zod. Is that Zod's neck or is that his sword? I'm not too sure. It's kind of hard to tell with the artwork. But it looks like above his shoulder, like his left shoulder, like blood is squirting out. Yeah, I think that I think that definitely is blood. So I think it is a cut on his left shoulder. So, okay. So yeah, so Guts cut through the sword and he also cut through Zod's left shoulder, going down to his left chest and even both of his hands, because we still see Guts's sword in Zod's body, like with the slash. Guts screams, "God, ah!" And Guts says, "Got him." Or so it looks like he didn't fully like take his hands off. Like Guts didn't fully cut off Zod's hands, because we see Zod grab Guts' sword with a smirk, and he says, "What a surprise. After being pushed back that far, I never thought you'd try to break my sword. You're the first human ever to drive a sword this deep into my body." And we just see this super menacing look on Zod's face. Right, this boy Guts, he was forced to have to level up, bro. He was forced to have to level up, but the fact that Zod is still able to keep going and Zod ain't out the game yet, right? This is scary, man. This is scary. Okay, we see. It looks like Zod is transforming into more of a beastly form. Kind of look like a werewolf mixed with horns, with like a goat or something. I'm not too sure, or like a ram. You know, like a buffalo. He kind of look like a buffalo monster, bruh. So Zod. I remember seeing Zod in a couple chapters ago in his form, and I was like, yo, what is this buffalo looking monster? So yeah, we kind of got like a foreshadow or a reveal of Zod a lot earlier in the series. Zod says, "In these past 300 years of slaughter," bro, this dude been around for 300 years. Like they was talking about he only been around for 100. Nah, he been around for 300 years. And we just see this big beastly form towering above Guts. And it says, "Nosferatu Zod, Chapter 2, End." Bro, this man Zod is a beast, man. He's a beast. And he's not super gimmicky like a lot of other uh apostles that we've seen. I'm assuming that Zod is an apostle and he's not super gimmicky. He's just a brute. He's just a brute of a man, right? He's just a brute of a man. Even though he has transformed, so I guess maybe I'm wrong about that. You know, he is a little gimmicky, a little bit. You know, he does transform into even worse monster, right? So, bruh, I mean, this whole chapter was just Guts versus Odd. I mean, it's really nothing to. It's not too much to break down. We see Zod attacking Guts and Guts taking all of his shots and blocking them, and even Zod is like, "Hey, I'm impressed. You know, out of many people I fought, nobody have been able to survive this long, and you've been surviving." And it got to a point where even Guts was willing. You know, he took a gamble, and he allowed Zod to swing, cut through his sword, and managed to actually hurt Zod. You know, he managed to cut through Zod, even cutting part of Zod's hands and cutting his chest and his shoulder. But that just wasn't enough. That just wasn't enough to take down Zod. Now we see Zod transforming. Zod is transforming into an even bigger, beastlier form than he was fighting Zod. He was fighting Guts in this whole chapter. So next chapter we gonna get Beast Zod. Pretty much, we're getting beastly Zod, and I'm looking forward to it. But that is the chapter, y'all. That is the chapter, y'all. So make sure you guys hit that like button. Also subscribe. Hit that bell for notifications. Bro, I'm hyped from that chapter. Make sure you leave a comment down below. Let me know what you thought of this chapter, what you thought about this read through. Follow me on Twitch so you can catch my live streams live and you can interact with me in real time. Make sure you follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, and join the Discord. Come and be a part of the community. Anyway, y'all, it's your boy Sean P. the Bluff God, and I'm out of here. Peace.